And look at HTC's 7-inch Flyer tablet. This is an Android 2.3 device. It isn't a honeycomb tablet like the majority of Android tablets these days. And we'll just start you off with a little tour around the hardware. Down here at the bottom you see the relatively usual Android keys. There's only 3 of them in this case. Home, menu and back. And a little key here on the side which is just for the dedicated stylus, which kicks you into the Magic Pen menu and the HTC Scribe drawing/doodling interface. You can see these in portrait mode here, and if you flip over into landscape mode, they're also available here. There's only one landscape and one portrait orientation. You cannot, for example, flip it all the way around, which isn't a huge deal, but that's how it is. Instead of Android keys on this side, you've got a front-facing camera, 1.3 megapixel, and over the top you get the HTC logo, and that's basically it. A black bezel surrounds the 7-inch screen, 1024 by 600 resolution, and around that you have this aluminum unibody construction. All of the silver or grey shell that you see here is made out of aluminum. It's punctuated by a couple of speakers here, stereo speakers. They can get pretty loud, but the sound out of them is quite mediocre. It isn't terribly nice. And then you have these 2 white plastic bits at the top and the bottom. This one, we don't really know why it needs to stick out. The tablet is plenty thick enough as it is. It's just over 13 millimeters in thickness, I believe. This isn't removable. We tried and failed to remove it. The removable bit is actually the one up here at the top, which you apply pressure with both thumbs and should pop up eventually. There we go. So again, this is just white plastic, black surround for the camera. Here you have a 5 megapixel camera sensor, room for your SIM card if you have the 3G version of the Flyer, and room for a micro SD card. You can have these at 16 gigabytes with only Wi-Fi, or 32 gigabytes. Actually, I'm talking about storage embedded in the tablet, so 16 gigabytes with Wi-Fi only and 32 gigabytes with a 3G connection, which you can then expand with an SD card. So you could actually go up all the way up to 64 gigabytes with the 3G version. So sticking that back on. It doesn't look like the battery is actually user replaceable. This is just access to get your cards in there, but it seems to be the case that you won't be able to swap the battery out. So that's basically it. Here on the side you got a couple of volume keys. Over at the very top you've got a 3.5mm headphone jack and the power/lock button. The interesting thing about this button is that the status LED is actually embedded inside it. So when the tablet is charging, when it needs to charge, or when there's an alert for a message or some notification, the light comes on right here, which is very cool actually. It's a neat little trick that HTC have done. It looks like it's just another silver part, just like the aluminum section, but it isn't. It's translucent over here and the light comes on, which is very nice and slick. We'll get into the software in a separate video, but we'll just show you the rest of what's in the box here. So you get this white case/cover. It has this magnetic little opening and closing mechanism going on here. The tablet fits inside it very snugly, and there we go. Closes up. That's very nice. And over here you have the stylus with a dedicated little spot for it, like so. That also fits very snugly, and you have the whole package just like that. It's actually very good in terms of stuff that gets bundled in boxes. Usually you expect a pair of rubbish headphones and some sort of poorly made case, but this is actually the sort of thing which we would definitely use if we end up buying the Flyer. So taking a closer look at the stylus, it seems to also be made of aluminum and matches the design and the look of the tablet. It has this nib over here, it's an active stylus, so it requires a battery. So it's a 4A battery, I believe, which you slot in at the back like so. HTC has said, yep, 4A. HTC has said that the stylus will last up to 18 months without requiring a replacement of battery, so that's plenty of time. Here you have a couple of keys. The first one is for highlighting. When you're in the Notes application, you can highlight text. And the second one is for erasing. So you draw without pressing anything, and then you erase with this button and highlight text items with the lower button. So that's basically it in terms of the hardware. You might actually notice we've got a few scuffs on the back of our Flyer. This is because we unfortunately managed to drop it while we're testing the thing. But the fact that it survived and is only a little bit scuffed is actually testament to the strong aluminum construction of this thing. So good job HTC, and you know, please don't send assassins out to destroy us for doing this. So that's it. You have a very nice case, a very nice and very well built tablet, albeit slightly chunky and also quite heavy. It's 420 grams, which is quite heavy for a 7-inch device. It's heavier than the Samsung Galaxy Tab. And you get this